Hello,
Oh,
hello.
here's someone. Hey.
Tom.
Hey, how's it going? What if I do
Good,
this?
how are you?
I'm good.
Hello, everybody in the
All right,
chat.
good. I don't think there's anybody there. Is there anybody in the chat?
I see. Let's see. There are there's like 7 people watching right now so far.
Oh, wait, where do I see that? Oh, comments. Sorry, I was in private chat.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to our May the 4th live stream. It is great to see you. It is great to see you, Tom. We haven't done one of these on YouTube before. I think I've done them, but not. It's been a little while. So
And I've
we do them
certainly
on
not because I'm a
Instagram.
Luddite.
Yeah, we do them on Instagram pretty regularly. Yeah, we haven't done them on YouTube for a bit. So really cool to be here and to see everybody. So hope everybody's had a good May the 4th so far.
Time for Tonica indeed, Brittany M.
Time for Tonica. Hashtag time for Tonica. We didn't quite get it trending, but it was worth a shot, right? We tried, and at least there's more people aware of the whole Tonica Sisters thing and the petition and all that. I think it's around 900 signatures so far.
That's something. That's 900 whole purchases for the Tonica Sisters.
Exactly, and that's less than we were, 36 hours ago by like 900. So it's not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
I'm pleasantly pleased with how it's gone so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fun stuff. That's good stuff. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
It's so weird because like I'm waving like this and the direction is that way, but the things are that way.
I know, it's weird, isn't it? I have the same problem.
So did you see the Bad Batch?
I did.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about? You run this show.
We can start with the Bad Batch. I don't know if anybody's not seen it yet, so I kind of want to avoid spoilers.
The whole Bad Batch dies. They're all dead at the end.
After the first episode, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
First episode. But it was neat to see it. I stayed up. I was up late last night. I'm like, okay, it's midnight. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to wait till tomorrow. I'm like, no, I'm busy tomorrow. I'm going to watch it. So I watched it last night.
Yeah. I watched it this afternoon, and I actually really, really enjoyed it. I was cautiously optimistic at most because while I love the Clone Wars, and I thoroughly enjoyed the episodes with the Bad Batch, they're still like, oh, it's clones, and they're all kind of general archetype characters that I'm used to. And it's like, okay. They wouldn't be in my top favorite episodes of stuff, but I loved it. It was great fun. It just felt like season 8 of the Clone Wars to me. So I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When it started, that's exactly what it felt like to me. It was like, oh, this is a continuation of the Clone Wars. This is like season 8, kind of, sort of. And it really had that vibe. It starts off with the whole, introduction, like the voiceover. So it's kind of it's obviously very integrated into Clone Wars, and kind of brings it, that familiar feeling and territory into this new show, which is important because we got to learn why we should care about these characters, right?
Yeah. And the new character I was really nervous about, Omega. I was very, very concerned because I'm in the camp that I loved Ahsoka right off the bat. Like I really thought like her spunky kind of thing was fun because it was so absent from the prequels that I was like, oh, this is fun. But once it got to Ezra Bridger, I was like, that's a little grating. And then I don't remember who the character from Resistance, what his name was, but because I couldn't.
I'm just playing around here.
Yeah.
With the layout. That's better.
But Omega was a nice surprise.
I liked Omega. Again, we're not going to do spoilers, but we'll just kind of brush up on some of the, just how we felt about it. I thought Omega was fun, and I think she got an action figure announced today. So
yeah, that was okay. That was a weak pipeline reveal. It's like, yeah, we're going to do another one of the main characters from the current new cartoon series. It's like, yeah, of course you are. Show us some other things. Show us Max Rebo.
No, the Tonica Sisters, Tom. They should have been in this episode.
The Tonica Sisters should have been in the episode, yeah. Because why would Boba care about Fennec and Mandalorian? They must have just met before.
So let me just look here in the comments and see who's with us so far. So Dodgeson93, a familiar name from Instagram. Volcanics Playground. Hey, Joe, how's it going? Jason, hello, Jason. Good to see you. Brittany, hello. I love seeing that Time Britannica hashtag in the comments here. James Modern Art, hello. Jurassic Dave, hey Dave, how's it going? Yeah, really cool stuff. Mary, hello. Yeah, lots of familiar names, so super, super cool.
Pedro, hello.
Yeah, to see all our friends here. So yeah. No, I enjoyed it. It was long, but I know that it's the first episode. They're not all going to be 75 minutes. But I thought it was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was 3 episodes mushed together in a more cohesive way than the Clone Wars theatrical movie was,
Yeah,
where
totally.
it was like you could see where the characters like, we've got to recap what happened in last episode now. Hi, Victoria. She's gone.
Yeah.
She's gone, everyone. This is my channel.
I don't know why that happened.
She's back.
That was weird. It's the pyramid UFOs. That's what it was.
It's true. It's true. Look up the Fermi paradox, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, really enjoyed the Bad Batch. Looking forward to seeing. Sorry, work.
Seeing the next one. Yeah, I think, and we don't have to wait that long, right? It's on Friday. It's coming up, so that'll be neat. And yes, I'm excited for that. And yeah, it's off to a pretty solid start. I mean, I know some people were saying, oh, it's kind of kiddish. It's kind of, it's not Clone War Season 7, which is fine. I don't think everything needs to be Clone War Season 7,
No.
Especially when they're just trying to establish the show and kind of establish these characters and kind of give us a reason to care about them, but also make the show accessible to kids and to a wider audience. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense to me why they would kind of mix some of those sillier elements into it. And I'm okay with that. I mean, it's a kids animated show. It's like, you can't take it too seriously ultimately.
Yeah, yeah, agree with that. Yeah, I see someone, DJ Pearson, talking about being disappointed by the exclusives from Walmart. You want to talk about the reveals, the Hasbro stuff?
Let's do it, Tom. So I haven't had a chance to watch the live stream itself. Tom, what are you doing over there?
I am sitting by my open window here in Brooklyn, New York. So nice. The sounds of nature.
All good, all good. I haven't had a chance to watch the actual live stream, but I did look over all the releases and announcements and pipeline, all that stuff. So yeah, why don't you go ahead and kick us off with the first thing here?
Yeah, I didn't watch it either. Can you still see me?
Yep.
All right, because I switched to a different window. So the vintage collection stuff, Arc Trooper Echo, that's a repack from the 3-pack, right? He was in the 3-pack, was it, or was he not in the 3-pack?
He was in the 3-pack, yeah.
Yeah, so that's great. I'm happy about that. There's the Off-World Jawa. I guess we thought that was going to be a special thing for the Razor Crest, but I guess it's not now.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's a good. People love the Mandalorian. A Death Star droid repack because that's the Build-A-Figure, right? I think that's pretty good. Yeah. I never need another Luke Skywalker again, so I'm not going to even talk about that. Tebow, the Ewok, and Tusken Raider, apparently with a new head. And the winner of the fan vote being the Republic Trooper, which I remember was a very hard to get. I had no interest in him because I never really played those games. But I remember he was really tough to get, so that seems like a good choice. Fast and Furious is being filmed outside my... Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, the vintage collection stuff, it's good overall.
It's a little repacky, but...
Yeah, okay, with the Tusken Raider, is it just the head that's new on that one?
I couldn't tell you. I just read that somewhere. I'm on a good old yak face right now.
He looks like he does have a ball-hinged elbow, which would be new because the last one was
oh, not, so. Well, that would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be pretty neat.
At the bare minimum, that's what this figure would need, is that ball-hinged elbow, because the previous ones that the arms always like fly off.
Right, it was the crappy swivel thing, right? Which.
Yep. Yeah. So I think this. Yeah, I mean, this should. Hopefully, this is the one and done Tusken Raider. We'll never need another one again. I guess we'll see. But right. Yeah, and you're right. Just looking here at Echo, he's a repack. He was first available in those 3-packs from last year. Comic-Con, Comic-Con wasn't a thing last year, but he was an exclusive to Hasbro Pulse. So good to see him. I know a lot of people didn't get that 3-pack. It was super, super hard to get.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Jawa, that's an easy one. That makes sense. People will buy this in droves.
Oh yeah, you can never go wrong with Jawas.
Especially if you're getting the Razor Crest. I mean, it kind of feels like you would need like 10 of these to kind of recreate that scene. So I'm good with this. I'm excited to see it. And it's not the Elder, right? The Elder was the one that was in the that comes with the Razor Crest.
I couldn't in a million years tell you the differences between these things.
The Elder has like a necklace. I don't know if that's the only thing that differentiates the two.
Someone says down here, Volcanics Playground said it's different. Razor Crest has an egg you can open and a necklace. So yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, the exclusivity of the Walmart stuff is Death Star droid, yet another Luke, and Tusken Raider.
Oh no, Tom's gone. No worries, he'll be back. Yeah, these are really cool, guys. As we wait for him to return. Wait, there he is, right there. There you are.
Sorry, I clicked the wrong button there when I was trying to click back. Yeah, the Walmart, like, I guess you're never going to see these guys, right? I don't know. Like, the Walmart thing is just, it really stuns me.
I mean, they did a good job with the pre-orders on the last round with the Endor Leia, the ATST driver, and what else was in it? The Ewok, right?
Yeah, there was an Ewok in that one.
Ewok.
Yeah, because guess who just started thinking about getting those Ewoks?
Uh-oh.
Guess who doesn't have Wicket?
You don't have Wicket? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and now they're like, oh, we're just going to release all the Ewoks. Really?
Yes.
You're just going to do all of them? That's a collect them all that can bite my butt and be like, ooh, Tom, you get all the Ewoks now.
I mean, that's the way it should be, you know, with the Ewoks. I mean, they like for me, Return of the Jedi, I think is still like the most toyetic of all the Star Wars films. Like, you know, you have Jabba's, you got Jabba's palace, you've got, you know, the Rebel Alliance, you know, and they have some aliens, you know, in their ranks. There's Imperials, there's troopers, you get stormtroopers, you get scout troopers.
Let's be honest, it's Jabba's palace and Ewoks.
It's Jabba's palace and
Jabba's
Ewoks.
palace and Ewoks. You want to fill a diorama with your Ewoks and fill a diorama with your Jabba's palace.
Yeah. And you even get stuff like the Emperor and his dignitaries, Simalu and all those guys. So how can you not be excited for Simalu? But yeah, really cool stuff.
I really want a vintage mint on card Simalu.
Who doesn't?
I know, I seriously do, because back in the early 2000s, I would still go to toy. I wasn't collecting the figures at the time. I'd kind of given up because I'd seen the movies and I was like, all right, this isn't really my thing. And I went to a KB toy store and I looked and saw in the Blue Saga collection cards, they had Lot Dodd, Senator Lot Dodd. Yeah. And on the back of it, it said like, he uses bureaucratic lies and procedural tricks to achieve the aims of the Trade Federation.
Yes.
And it was like, comes with a removable miter. I was remembering all the toys I had as a kid who had like guns and were bounty hunters and smugglers and, you know, and it's a galactic senator who like uses the filibuster. And I was like, I'm keeping that on card. So I've got all of the senators on card because like they'll say things like Republic Senator. It's like, that's your action feature.
That's your action feature.
So amazingly ridiculous. I love it. And the only one from the original line that's like that is Imperial Doggone Dignitary, because that is I remember going to the store, my parents being like, do you want to buy a Star Wars figure? And that was the only one there that I didn't have. And I'm like, no.
That's hilarious.
I don't need that.
Yeah. Yeah, those were fun, and I think Lot Dodd was actually named after actual like U.S. senators, wasn't he? Like it was.
Yeah, it's based off of Lot. And Dodd, the Dodd, something with the Dodd-Frank bill, right? Trent Lott and whoever it was that was part of the Dodd-Frank bill. Yeah, George Lucas wasn't subtle with his names.
There was never any politics in Star Wars until 2015, right? Never.
Yeah, He's certainly named Newt Gunray in a totally apolitical way.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, no, but yeah, Return of the Jedi, it's toyetic.
I love it.
More
Yeah.
toys. Yeah, give us more Ewoks. I have, I think, all of them so far in the modern line, but
You got an extra Wicket?
I wish I did. I don't have an extra Wicket. I have the one without photoreal, and I have the one with photoreal.
Vintage cards?
I have a loose one without photoreal.
Okay.
And I have one carded with photoreal and one uncarded with photoreal, sorry.
I can't believe I canceled that.
I buy every variation, every single version, every update, I'm all in. And
I sit here and I poo-poo that. I'm like, I don't need another Wicket. I've got my vintage Wicket. I've got my one from when I was a kid. I've got that Wicket. It's good. There goes Vin Diesel. Yeah. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, totally. So
Jesus, what happened with that? You were able to get the figures?
So those Clone Wars, I think they go for pre-order tomorrow in the US, right? Through Target.
Do they? I hope so. Let me know. If you find them before I've said anything to you, order them for me.
But in Canada, they went up today, and St. James Modern Art says it took him or her 10 hours to get the 4 Clone Wars pre-order figures from Toys R Us Canada. I hope that's not the case here. Yeah, I hope that's not the case here, but you know how these things are hit and miss. Like, Walmart can be on point like they were with the last round of Vintage Collection exclusives. I mean, so far, we don't know if they're going to get canceled, but, then you can have a situation where you just can't get anything. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah, it's a shot in the dark with Walmart. Same with Target. I've never had a problem getting a Target exclusive until they came out with the new G.I. Joes. Excuse me. And Target has an entire subset of the G.I. Joe classifieds that they get that no one can buy. They're never on shelves anywhere. So that's fun. I don't think that line's going to last because of that deal. This deal's getting worse all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
quiz, May the 4th. Who said that? This deal's getting worse all the time. See?
I don't think that those are meant to be like a long-term thing. At least I hope they're not. Like, I'm good with 4 Clone Wars exclusives at Target like that, but I don't think they're intending it to be like a long-term thing. I think it's just a special Lucas 50th anniversary type thing. Right?
I'll tell you what, I legitimately want a couple of those darn Clone Wars ones to keep on the card. Yeah. Which is I barely keep any Black Series stuff on the card, right? I've got a Star Wars carded Darth Vader and the Phantom Menace Darth Maul. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw those what the card art, which I thought was stupid back when it came out, the Clone Wars ones, because they had gotten rid of what I thought was the really cool 30th anniversary card art. Do you remember those ones?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I loved that. I thought that was really stellar card art, and I loved it. And they switched it out. It's just a clone face.
Yeah.
12 years later, I'm just like, it touches me in my happy spot.
I liked the 30th anniversary design look because it didn't make any attempt to connect to the vintage line. It was just kind of like a modern, like, Star Wars card. It was very angular. Yeah. It had a coin, which I guess you could say the coin is a throwback.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
But they had the fantastic artwork, and they on the side they had the border with the name of the film. It was just like doing its own thing. It was like a good modern, like, Star Wars toy line. Fantastic packaging, like you said, and yeah, that was one of the best designs I think they've done.
Yeah. Really, really.
Hi, Tom's neighbor friend. Can they see me?
No, I'm up on the second floor here. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep the window open because I love the cool air coming in.
No worries. I have the air condition on. It's kind of a warm day today. So.
Right. Yeah. Got here.
But yeah, no, I completely agree. That was a cool line, and I mean, I wonder what the goal is. Hey, Greg, I see our friend Greg is here in the chat. I wonder what the end goal is with these exclusives. Like, are they just gonna do? Is it just the Clone Wars? Is it just the Episode 1 stuff Best Buy has? I mean, like, they're cool. I mean, it's neat to see them and be like, hey, those are, yeah, that's cool. But I mean, I don't feel like a need to go out and get like all of these because, like you said, I'm also not like a 6-inch like keep it on in the package type person. Like for me, it's just, vintage collection. Sure, that's a different thing. But like 6-inch, it's got to be out. You got to be able to grab the figure and manipulate it and whatnot. So I hope it's not like a long-term thing that we're going to start seeing the Saga collection, the 30th anniversary collection, the Legacy collection, Power of the Force, like Power of the Jedi. Like, I don't need to see all that. Just give me a good figure. I don't care what the packaging is. I'll buy it, and make it easy to acquire. Don't make it a chore.
Here's a question for you. Excuse me. It's 9 o'clock here in Brooklyn, so it's way past my bedtime. It's not. I just yawn a lot. If they were to re-release Count Dooku on one of these special legacy types of cards for 6-inch, would you want him to go on the Saga collection card for that? Or would you rather go just straight into Revenge of the Sith card? You could do that probably too. He was in that too.
I love the Revenge of the Sith line. Like, it's my favorite. I think that was the best movie line. Like, just like pure, like, it wasn't beholden to anything else. It wasn't like the Saga line where everything was integrated under one banner. It was just Revenge of the Sith it ran for that year. And they still got out like 60 figures or something. And they had vehicles, they had multi-packs, like, and the figures were solid. I think that's like the perfect kind of movie line you can do. And it wasn't all like super articulation. Some were. But a lot of it was just like really decently articulated figures with integrated action features that were not noticeable. There were no knobs sticking out of the back. There was no weird gimmick. They were all well integrated. So do I want to see that at 6-inch? Not necessarily. I mean, like I said, it's really gimmicky. It's okay to see it. I can't say I'm not going to buy extras of any of these things I'm kind of talking not badly about, but that I'm mentioning. But I'm not going to get them all. That's for sure.
No. Like I'm not getting any of the other Phantom Menace carded ones. Even the reprinted face of Liam Neeson, which is too bad because the new version looks great. It really does. But it's like I don't even have my current Liam Neeson figure on display, so
you need that figure. You better get that figure. Don't make me like force you to buy that figure.
You ship it to me, and as soon as it shows up here, you'd be like, "Hey, you see how I bought you that figure? Send me $30." I'll be like, "Oh, yes, I got it."
You need that figure. Don't miss out on that figure. It's
all right. Where's that on? Best Buy.
Best Buy. When you get it in hand, and you don't even need to compare to the old one. When you get it in hand and look at it, you're gonna have zero regrets. That's a figure that you absolutely need. I'm sure everybody in the comments here would agree with that. I'd be shocked if they didn't. But you need that updated Qui-Gon. Brittany says that Qui-Gon face sculpt is the stuff of dreams, and it 100% is, Tom. You cannot miss out on that figure.
Wow. Oh, wait. No. We are not picking up at Atlantic Center. No, thank you. No. We are shipping to...
Buy two and you get free shipping.
I don't need... that... balls.
so what do you need? What? Okay, so I'm trying to think. There's Jar Jar, there's Qui-Gon, there's Mace, there's the battle droid.
Got him. I'm good.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like that's really the only one you need is Qui-Gon. Like, honestly, but you need Qui-Gon.
All right, hang on.
He's doing it, guys. He's doing it.
I have no willpower, guys. Really, it's a deep way. Ooh, I can pay in 4 easy installments.
Collectors aren't supposed to have willpower. You're supposed to buy stuff and collect.
I know, yeah. Well, yeah.
But yeah, that's a fantastic figure. I know that from time to time they update figures of photo reel and whatnot, but like that is like knocked it out of the ballpark, like a redo. Like that is, you can't miss Qui-Gon. Like, and he's Qui-Gon, like, for crying out loud, right?
Yeah, I liked the first version of Qui-Gon.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't actually have any idea what my phone number is anymore. Doesn't matter.
It's 555-361.
Hey now.
21
Hey now. None of this.
Mm.
All right. Well, the last time you tricked me into buying a figure, it was the Rogue One Vintage Collection Darth Vader. You're like,
Mhm.
it's really great, Tom. You should get that. And I'm like, I don't need another Darth Vader. And now I've got it. I'm really happy to have it there.
There you go.
You know.
There you go.
Oh, I
Good
was not
job.
going to get Jackson because I hated the head sculpt. Then I saw Plundar. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got Plundor too. That's why I had to get Jackson. I think his head sculpt stinks.
I can't speak to MOTU, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's like when we were talking with Evan on Instagram Live the other day, or was it the podcast episode, Cantina Chatter? And he said that, it's like a space rabbit. Like, why does it need to have like a specific, like mean, like gritty looking, like tough guy look to him? It's a space rabbit. He just needs to be space rabbit.
I wish we were embracing the silliness of the concept a little bit more in that one. It's sort of like the two-headed pod race announcer guy, who I remember in 1999, I was like, this is an affront to my fandom and my childhood and is the worst thing ever. And now I'm like, he's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Star Wars should be funny. Star Wars is best when it's funny.
I mean, to a point, yeah, like stuff with Jar Jar going on Tatooine, like with the Opis and stuff, like having bodily functions. No, not really. I mean, I don't think that's needed, but
no, those jokes stunk,
and they're very dated because it's just stupid now.
Oh, Mila stepped in the poo poos.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Cool, bro.
Okay, like going back to Bad Batch though, really quick, like the thing with Wrecker.
Hang on. Gen X Jar Jar is not an affront. I love Jar Jar now.
Yeah, we like Jar Jar.
But he's he earns his place in canon fantastically in the Clone Wars, where he is toned down a little bit. Sorry, Victoria, you were saying.
Yeah, but I was saying, going back to Bad Batch, like the thing with Wrecker, he's there to be like the thing for the kids to go, haha, that's funny. But I like how, without going into details, I like how in that episode they kind of like expounded on him a little bit and just kind of, showed a little bit of other aspects of his personality that kind of explain, certain things that might have been in the episode that kind of explain like why he's, or, I mean, it just explains more about, why he's like that. So,
yeah, I'll be honest. My take on Wrecker, I was watching the episode and about halfway through it, with Wrecker, I was like, this is how I felt when I saw Jar Jar in episode 1. No joke. I was just like, here he is every scene, and he's doing his little bit. He's doing his bit here again.
So it's not a spoiler because it was explained in season 7 of Clone Wars that these clones, the Bad Batch, are like genetically like different than your run-of-the-mill clone trooper. They're not. What is the term that they have for them in the episode? It's like just like standard regs, right? Regular clones.
Regs.
They're not regs, right? So we already knew that they were different, but like this episode just kind of explains a little bit more about that, and it kind of gives you a few clues about Wrecker, like why he's so like the way that he is, and I kind of appreciated that.
Oh yeah, I'd be startled if I didn't come away from this thing really loving all these characters. I just felt he was a little much at first for me, a 42-year-old guy in my 4th decade of Star Wars. It's like it's where I come in with my criticisms now. They're a little bit less like, you should really listen to what Tom says about Star Wars, and more be like, oh, what's a 6 to 10-year-old think about this thing? They're probably going to really like it. This is the first time they've seen a character like Wrecker do something like this, and he's he's kind of funny. He was just a little bit much for me, but he seems very charming and nice. And I don't want to say anything more about the Bad Batch because there was something in it that surprised the heck out of me. I bet it did you too. And anyone who hasn't seen it is something that's going to surprise the heck out of you, I think, about it, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, completely. I enjoyed it. Greg says he just caused me to buy
Yeah.
Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
I have that effect on people. I convince them. I don't know. I even try to do it. I just convince them to buy toys, and it's like, it's not my fault.
You don't try and do it. You literally like, Tom, you need to buy this. You need to buy this right now. Everyone in the chat is saying you have to buy this right now. You don't try and do this. Come on. You're a pusher.
All right.
Pusher. See?
Let's fess up to that. Okay, that's what I'm here to tell you if a toy is good or bad. If it's good, I'm going to tell you to buy it. If it's bad, I'm going to say don't buy it. But Qui-Gon, you got to buy.
So, he's coming. He's coming. I'll take that other one and burn it.
You're welcome, Greg. You're welcome.
Will you excuse me for just a moment?
No. Okay, while you do that, I'm going to show off some Bad Batch Clone Wars figures here.
Oh yeah, because you've got multiple ones.
I forgot to ask you, what are you drinking?
Gin and tonic.
All right, I just another Manhattan, because that's kind of been my thing lately. So
I love it, and I live right by Manhattan. So hey, and you live right by Gin.
I do. Good joke, good joke. So let's talk about Bad Batch Black Series. Try saying that 10 times fast. So here we have just standard clone trooper. So I'm trying to see what the best angle is for this. So this is just a standard. If you bought the previous clone trooper that came out last year, that's basically what this is. But interestingly, what they did is they incorporated the older style knees. So you can see you actually have the double knee joint rather than the single ball hinge style joint. I'm not quite sure why they did this. So from basically from the torso up, it is the brand new sculpt that came out last year. But from the hip down, this is the previous Clone Wars sculpt. There it is. And I'm not sure why they did that. I think it's really interesting. I think it's kind of strange. But it's pretty solid of a figure. I think the coloring on it is really, really nice. One thing I will say about it is that it's not like solid black. It is kind of like a dark grayish sort of color. There it is again. And I do like the green visor on it. So Tom, I was just saying that this from the hips up, this is the brand new sculpt that came out last year. But the legs are actually the previously released double bend legs that were out on the older clone troopers.
Which are apparently better, right?
I like the other ones better, but I don't like how the other ones, like, they tend to like crease the little plastic on the knee. But they articulate better. For me, I don't really like these a whole lot because they're just harder to stand. But
gotcha.
It stands fine so far. I just mean like the articulation system. I prefer the new system better than this. But I don't know why they did that. But either way, it's a solid figure. And if you're into Bad Batch, and you know, I don't think anybody wants to miss out on these because they're pretty solid figures. This is a fun one to have. I know you got it right.
I did not.
That is good.
Yes!
That is good right there. That actually has to be a thing now.
That's
like
fantastic.
On Twitter.
Tonica. Yeah.
We gotta make that. We gotta make that a thing. I gotta think about. Okay, I have Jinn here at home. I need to think about what a Jinn and Tonica would look like.
You put a dash of blue into it.
Thank you, Mary. Or a touch of green.
Or a touch of green, yeah.
So let's look at another Black Series figure here. So here I have Hunter. And Hunter is another member of the Bad Batch. This is another solid figure. And I know that places, even before the Bad Batch premiered, were already selling out of these guys. So if you're kind of on the fence, I'm here to tell you that it is a solid figure. And the head sculpt on it is really good. Really, really good. Like he's got like that half like tattooed sort of blocked out look. But just the whole thing is just awesome. Like I was talking about how I prefer the system of like hinge knees. Like they're just really good. Like they, you know, you get a pretty good amount of bend from it, even if it's not a double bend, but it just looks more seamless. And yeah, the backpack is removable. The gun is really cool. One thing I like about this figure, Tom, is that if you look here at the arm, on the lower arm right here, he actually has a knife that you can pull out like that.
I think I've got him. I think that's the one that I've got. Yeah. Okay. And I recognize it because of the knife. Yeah.
So the knife is cool. If you look at the armor, there's a bunch of little bits of like scratches and stuff on here. There's like some nice wear. But at its core, it's like cast in this like deep plastic. So, I mean, the paint is going to be solid because it's mostly cast in this color. And then it does have some darker tones that are applied throughout. So, and then, of course, the dashes of like maroon or burgundy. Is that maroon or burgundy? What would you say?
Yes.
Yes. Good enough. And his bandana. Yeah, I really like this guy. I really, really, really like this guy. And then, of course, you get his helmet right here. So you can put his helmet on him too. The helmet's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any more of the Bad Batch ones? Have you gotten more of them?
I do. Hunter's the leader, though. So, I mean, if you're going to get just one, you kind of need Hunter, I would say. But, I mean, it's the Bad Batch, right? You need the whole batch. So the other one I have here is Crosshair.
Yep, I like Crosshair an awful lot. He's in my pile of loot currently. I guess I didn't pre-order tech.
Yeah, Crosshair is solid as well. I mean, Crosshair in the show is just like that one serious clone that, he doesn't lighten up. He's always got like, he can't be loose. You can't imagine.
He's a bit of a grouch. He's a bit of a grouchy guy. I like him.
Yeah, you would. He's got his rifle right there, his sharpshooter rifle. And his backpack is also removable. So it shares some of the same parts that along with Hunter, but there are some different things going on here with his armor. Like you have this shoulder armor that's different. It's got this long piece that sticks out right there. And it's just a really solid figure. This one actually has this little pistol that has a holster. You can pull that out of the holster right there.
He's got his helmet?
He does have his helmet, and it has an articulated rangefinder on it. So here's the helmet right there.
Oh, cool.
And you can move the rangefinder up and down. I really like these guys. I can't wait for Wrecker. I can't wait for Tech. I can't wait for, who's the other one?
Wrecker, Tech, Echo, right? At this point?
Echo. That's who it is, Echo.
Yeah.
I can't wait for those. These are all great. These are all solid figures. Like I know that, I'm saying Qui-Gon, and I mean the thing about the Black series is that they've periodically gotten better and better. The QC's improved, like the likenesses have gotten better with over time, with photoreal being a thing, and just the articulation systems are getting better. Black series is really kind of like at the height of its game so far. I hope things continue to evolve and improve.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, they're really doing some solid stuff across the board, and I think these Bad Batch figures are like completely representative of that fact.
If I seemed a little disconnected for the past minute or two there, it was because I was going to check what my pre-orders were on these things, realizing I had not pre-ordered Wrecker or Tech, and also the Black Clone Trooper because I was like, I don't care. But I just went and pre-ordered those 3 on Big Bad Toy Store. So that's what I was doing. So this is an advertisement for toys, guys. Listen, surprise!
They should pay us, right? Like, come on.
Wait, did you get a new Litsky thing? There was a new Litsky thing that came out.
No, I didn't. I'm not that important, Tom. Come on.
You're important to us here, right, guys?
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll raise a glass to that. Thank you. I appreciate it. I do what I can.
I also love what D. Bradley Baker does with Crosshair voice.
Yeah, I love how they're all different. And I was hearing about an interview he did where he was saying that, sometimes he gets like confused because he's like talking to himself and he has to kind of like stop and like restart because, like the voices, they're all different, like each of these guys. And he's good. He's good. Like he's perfect at doing this. He doesn't do Omega though, thankfully.
Yes, I was grateful for that. I was glad that Omega is something different. Also, the unfortunate thing is it also means when Bosk shows up, it's like, oh, it's the clone voice again. Mm-hmm. But True. If Bosk shows up in anything now, that's the canon voice, and I want to hear D. Bradley Baker do it. Put him in Solo 2, Lando, Solo 2 TV show, whatever it is. Bring Bosk in. They're going to do it. D. Bradley Baker's the voice, not just...
Right. And I know we mentioned it already, but I'm all here for Omega. I want to see where her story goes. And it's just interesting. Like, she gets explained a little bit in the episode, so I won't go into that, but right. A little bit. But it's yeah, that's cool. I love when they introduce new characters that are kind of in similar territory that we've seen before, but they also kind of move things into a different direction. So
I like it. I like it when we see a new character and they're able to do something that isn't just, you know, there's a teaser at the end. Spoiler, plug your ears for a second. That's not really a spoiler, but like at the end of the episode, they're like,
oh wait, I saw it.
yeah, they're like, we're going to go to a planet and see a good friend. And there's part of me that's like, oh, I hope it's someone I know. And there's the other part of me that's like, it would be nice if this was a new character and not just a cameo from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it, though.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. And again, we don't have to wait too long. It's on Friday. We'll get to see what's going to happen. But
give me those weekly drops, Disney.
and yeah, and just to kind of put a cap on this Bad Batch Black series, like don't miss out on those guys. I know Entertainment Earth actually sent me an email the other day, and they said that that places are selling out of the Bad Batch Black series. That there's a lot of demand for them. Last I checked, which was like last night, GameStop was the only retailer that had them like actually like in stock. Mm-hmm. Amazon has had them in and out of stock for the past few weeks, but I assume now that the show is currently out.
I just looked. Well, That's what I was like. I was legit being like, can I find these things? Nope.
With the show being out now, I assume that they're not gonna last for very long wherever they are in stock now. So
it's like Ahsoka when Clone Wars came out. You could never find that figure anywhere. The first iteration of Ahsoka was really difficult to get for like a year.
The one with baby Rada on her back.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
I love that figure. I have that.
That's figure. Great. Oh yeah, it's a great figure. I want a Black Series version of that one. I want the season 3 to 6 version the most.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
3 to 5, but you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they'll do it at this point.
I'll take any version of Ahsoka that they want to give us. I mean, Ahsoka hands down is my favorite character. So.
Yeah, I think she crossed over. She beat Jabba the Hutt a few years ago.
Jabba the Hutt. You would have Jabba the Hutt as one of your favorite characters.
Hey, when I was 4 years old, I went to the cinema and I saw this giant space slug that was talking and seemed like a real thing. And I was like, oh my God, like I'd never. Back then, there was nothing like that. There was nothing like that. It was such an incredible special effect that, yeah, that was really stunning. Yeah, this Admiral Rampart, Rampant.
I haven't seen the live stream. Like I said, I don't know what his name is. He's just some dude. At first, I thought it was Tarkin, but then I looked at him like, wait, that's not Tarkin.
No, this is Admiral Rampart. All right, yeah, we should talk about Black Series stuff now. Other Black Series stuff. Yeah, Admiral Rampart. I'm looking at Yak Face right now. He looks like a guy. He's another one of these guys.
I don't know who that is. It's just some dude.
Yeah, he's just a dude.
Yeah, I don't know who this guy is. I mean, it just seems so weird to announce something that doesn't even like resonate with anybody. You know, it's like, I mean, yeah, maybe next time they do a live stream, you know, like for Hasbro, but like, I mean, why should I care about this character? I have no idea who he is. I mean, he doesn't even look like anybody like I'm dying to put in my collection. So
yeah, he just looks like another Imperial soldier. I'm getting called out for my lack of accent. I grew up in Vermont. I don't have a Vermont accent either, though, so maybe I'm from nowhere.
Oh, I see what it is. This right here. Where is this so called? Yeah, it's, you know, like people, like I always tell people I grew up in Texas, and they're like, you don't sound like you're from Texas. And it's like, well, dude, I've been in California since 2008. Like, I've been here a long time. So if I don't sound like I'm from Texas, it's because it's been a long time since I lived there.
All right, what else? All right, so the first one on Yak Face here, I'm going through the Yak Face order, is Gaming Greats Flame Trooper, which I know nothing about. It looks like a cross between one of those Rebel stormtroopers and a snow trooper.
Yeah, I see that.
Looks kind of neat.
This looks kind of like the Ralph McQuarrie concept stormtrooper.
Yeah, that one. I don't know if I'll be in for that one because
what? This was in Fallen Order. I haven't finished Fallen Order. I'm in the process of working through it. I need to pick it up again. It's been a few weeks. Yeah, no, so that's cool. Gaming Greats, I don't really care. I mean, I'm going to buy them anyway, but like Gaming Greats is like, it's free to be its own thing as long as it's from the game. And then they have the Night Brother. I did fight these guys in that game as I was going through Dathomir. Like these guys were annoying.
Man, so where's my Savage Opress? I guess he's not current enough for
Savage Opress. I feel like that would be a deluxe figure at some point.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna buy this one as my stand-in set. I'm never gonna call him Savage. I'm never gonna do that. It's spelled savage. Never will I say Savage.
Come on, get your French on, Tom. It's
that would be like
Opress.
Rather than Darth Maul, it'd be Darth Maul.
Yeah. Brittany says exactly how they described the flame trooper in the stream. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised because, I mean, we've...
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a McQuarrie concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, Savage Opress would be a good $30 deluxe figure as long as he had the ability to be shirtless or have his shirt on and have his double-bladed saber and his staff. And yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, love that. Give that to me. Love that character. That poor dead guy. Poor old Savage Opress.
Yeah. Yep.
It's true. Well, here's the thing, Victoria, you're going to buy it anyways, and then 2 months later, I'm going to be like, why didn't I buy that Wicket? He's $30 now. Victoria, do you have one you can sell for me for cheap?
You got to buy the Z-Walks, dude. The Z-Walks, I mean, they'll sneak up on you. They're little, they're unsuspecting, but...
And they eat people. My kind of teddy bears.
Yeah. Jason says, yeah, give us Savage Opress. Totally, give us Savage Opress. I mean
if they're doing Night Brother dude now, that means he's definitely on that. Like, once they gave us the Ahsoka wave, and then the Ahsoka and Maul for the vintage collection, now I'm absolutely convinced we'll get Savage Opress. We're gonna get modern Darth Maul. We'll get a younger Clone Wars Ahsoka. Like they're gonna do these things now. I don't know when, but there was the point I was like, I don't know, it might just get forgotten about and ditched into the past.
Yeah.
Now it's like, nope, that's coming.
Totally. Gen X says it's like having a trophy wall and Victoria's the top trophy hunter. You won. Okay, I won. Cool. Yeah, so yeah, I mean these are neat. The one that I really liked, and let me go and pull it up right here, is the it's a shock trooper, right? It's like,
yep.
What is this guy's name? This guy's name is
Shock Trooper.
It's just Shock Trooper?
Oh, it says Shock Trooper Commander because he got the little pauldron.
He's got the pauldron, yeah.
So I didn't buy that set when that set came out. And there was a point in time Entertainment Earth was selling that set for $40. Don't look at the eBay prices on that one now. So I've got one individual 501st clone from it that I bought for $30. So I'm very excited to get a Shock Trooper. I'll probably buy 2 of them because I was like, oh, maybe I'd like one of those.
I'll get 2 or 3. I mean, I like the Shock Trooper design. I always have. I think they're one of the cooler looking clones with the red and the white. I think I have 2 of the previous Shock Troopers that they did. I think they were a Barnes & Noble exclusive or something. Or wait, maybe not. No, Amazon exclusives where they were. Amazon. Yeah, it was a 4-pack. It came with the Shock Trooper, it came with the Utapau Trooper, the 501st, and then the green 332nd. I don't remember what the number was.
This is Clinda, by the way. Say hi to Clinda. It's Clinda.
My dog is not here because I have the door closed, so she can't come in.
It's my cat. Oh, hello. We're talking about Star Wars. What do you think about Star Wars? That's right now.
Star Wars is good stuff. It's the whole reason we're here talking about Star Wars May the 4th and toys. So cool. Glad your cat feels similarly to us. But yeah, no, this is a cool looking clone trooper. And it's got the pauldron. Yeah, I'll buy some. I mean, it's a clone. There's always room for buying more than one. Even if there's not room for buying more than one because your shelf is too full, there's always room to buy more than one.
I mean, you can resell them later. Clones are like Dogecoin. Except
right, exactly.
they keep going up, unlike Dogecoin. Right? Everyone? Little Dogecoin humor? No one? Alberto.
It keeps going up until it doesn't. We'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hello, Alberto. Let's see. Does that mean we get the Modern Night Sisters or Mother Talzin? That would be a cool Black Series figure, Mother Talzin.
Yeah, man. I'm still bummed that we didn't get a proper Clone Wars version of that.
Yeah.
That was right around when Hasbro decided to give up on Clone Wars during the height of its popularity. That was a choice they made.
Jimmy says Tebow is a repack. Is that true? Is Tebow just a repack?
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. Was he in a multi-pack before?
He came out in 2003 on his own card. Trying to remember if he's come out since then. Must have been a multi-pack, yeah.
Wow, really? 2003? With this articulation? No, he's got full-on articulation, doesn't he?
I think so.
Well, he doesn't have knees, but I don't know if Ewoks have knees or not in the toys. Huh, I don't know.
I'll have to look into that.
Years from the Toys R Us pack from a few years ago. Huh. Okay.
Alberto says, hello, comment that you thought the first chapter of the Bad Batch lot. Greetings from Mexico. Hola, Berto, ¿cómo estás? Muy amable, ¿cómo estás? Let's see who else we got here. So yeah, from Toys R Us pack a few years ago. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was from a multi-pack that, you know, like you mentioned, Tom. They've done a bunch, like back in the Legacy Collection, they did several multi-packs that just featured Ewoks, and some of them were really good. And unfortunately, I missed out on a couple of those. But
so did I.
Yeah, the one that has Nisa, right? The girl Ewok from the Ewoks cartoon. I missed that one, and I regret that massively. But it was a time that I had, you know, it was a different time. We'll just leave it at that. It was a different time. Let's see here. Why don't they give us more generic Black Series Imperial officers? So, I mean, I don't know that I would want like a generic Imperial officer. I like when they have names like Admiral Piet, Admiral Ozzel, Tarkin. I don't know that I'd want just like a generic like guy with just a face. How do you feel about that, Tom?
What if it was like my face? Like it could be it's an Imperial officer, but it's got my face.
I would buy it.
My wicked awesome hair.
I would buy it.
And it's got the hat on it, and like because how long the hair is, like it sticks out. I'm like, hey guys, I'm here for the Empire training. Is Darth Vader here?
You know, they actually did that back in, I think it was 2000. It was during the Power of the Jedi line. They actually did just generic Rebel fleet troopers and Imperial officers, and then they repacked them during the Saga line. Mm-hmm. But I mean, for Black Series, I kind of feel like somebody says, let's see, Rednecks. Yeah, they would work. They would work better for
3 3/4.
For 3 3/4. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever's talking about Watto, yes, I agree on the Watto front. By the way,
Watto.
There's a big Watto fan in here. Pedro, Watto needs to return. More Watto. Yes, more love for Watto. Watto is amazing. I want a Black Series Watto.
You know, Watto is one of those very few figures that I feel like they more or less nailed on the first go. The episode 1 Watto from 1999 is freaking fantastic. Mm-hmm. It's freaking fantastic. And then they repainted that figure in one of the Build-A-Droid 2 packs that Walmart had exclusively, like in 2008, 2009. Huh. And he looked even better. Like he's got the posable wings. If you have access to like a little stand, you can put him on a stand. I don't feel like they need to go back and redo that particular figure. I feel like they got him. Like
Black Series. Black
Put him
Series.
on Black Series, yeah, or
Yeah, Black Series.
put him in Black Series. I would totally buy a Black Series Watto that has that stand and is super articulated. That would be cool. I mean, I'm
And
not the biggest.
he can have a replaceable chin where he looks like a scruffy trash goblin. He's like, I'm pulling now. Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of Watto the character, but the figure itself, like I always say this, like I have figures that I've never seen the movies for, that the movies they're based on, because a good toy is a good toy, and Greg that's in here still will completely agree with that, I'm sure. As long as the toy speaks to you in some way, has some aspect to it that makes it unique, that makes it interesting, then I think that it's something that you'll appreciate and you'll enjoy having in your collection. I think for me, I feel like Watto is like one of those things. The last Watto they did, was 2 decades ago, but it's still a solid figure, and I would love to see that in Black Series somehow or another.
Yeah, I as far as do I like the character, I don't know if I like the character but I love the design.
Yeah.
The design of that character is so cool. Like that's a lot of my love of the prequel trilogy stuff outside of the Clone Wars is more I really like the design.
Yeah.
I love Grievous. Grievous is one of my favorite characters. Is it because he's a cool badass that kills Jedi with all his zillions of arms and lights? No, he's dumb and cowardly, and I'm going to tie you to the railroad tracks and run away. But he's really neat looking. He's a really inventive looking thing. He's like a George Lucas version of it's a bad guy, but it's a skeleton. Like it's an interesting thing. Like that's my love of these things. That's why I love Watto. I love Grievous.
Yeah,
Watto.
I have a 12-inch Watto, Greg says. Not very detailed, but still cool. So they did make some pretty cool 12-inch figures back before Hot Toys had that license to do that. There are some really cool things from back then. I still have a lot of those figures, the collector series, the action collection, things from way back when that I'm sure a lot of collectors these days don't even know existed. They did a Cantina set, Tom. You may be aware of this. They did the same Cantina figure was a Walmart exclusive, the Cantina band member. You had to buy them 6 times to get all the instruments at $20 a pop.
Sure, yeah,
So, I mean,
capitalism.
They did some capitalism, yeah. They did some solid stuff back then, and that was a good one. Yeah, so they did do some good 12-inch stuff. I think for Revenge of the Sith, they did like a Darth Sidious that was pretty good. They did Barriss Offee. They did maybe it was Luminara on Dooley, one of those Jedi. And like they got better and better, but then they licensed that out to Sideshow, and then Sideshow, from there you got Hot Toys, and then you get to a whole other level of collectible. But yeah. But yeah, no, Greg's right. Like they did some really cool stuff back in 1999 for a 12-inch. All right, so Tom, it's your turn. While I go refresh my drink.
Okay.
You're going to talk to all of our awesome participants that are here with us in the chat.
Okay, and I'm going to share with them my unpopular opinion. Okay, what was revealed today? The new retro collection Boba Fett, and this is a fake test shot, right? So it's all these ridiculous colors that they would use, and I hate this. I hated it when they did the Darth Vader one. Did I buy one of those? No, I did not. Did I buy 10 of those? No, I bought none of those. None of those things. So that's a no-go for me. I have no interest in pre-ordering this crummy, ridiculous colored Boba Fett. I have no interest in it. What do you guys think? Hated that Boba Fett. You mean the right? If you're going to do the retro collection, give us old retro collection stuff. Am I right, guys? Like, give us the old figures again and the slightly damaged card backs. I love the retro collection. I'm crazy about it because I had just decided, I'm going to have to go buy old figures to have them on the cards. But yeah, the ridiculous color thing, no. 1 star is me a thing that needs to return. Angry Birds Star Wars. No. Victoria bought a bunch of those Vaders. Oh my God. Really? She bought a bunch of those stupid Vaders? Oh, yeah. I was hoping to see the Return of the Jedi retro wave too. Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that. I want. Or you know what else they could do? They could do just the 6 bounty hunters, right? Bosk and IG-88 and Boba Fett and Forlom and Zuckuss, improperly named, and Dengar. Wasn't there a Simpsons Star Wars thing that came out today too? Yes, that is corporate synergy at its most corporate synergistic. If you want to watch creativity die, that's Simpsons Star Wars on Star Wars Day, brought to you by Disney. I'm gonna watch it though. I am, because I'm a corporate shill. Yeah. I wanted to see the retro wave for Return of the Jedi. It's a Maggie short. Yeah, I think it's a Maggie short. Those tend to be pretty fun. Yeah. Not Simpson Star Wars cute, but not creative. You guys are having fun. You don't need me to talk at you. I'll sit here and drink. It's not good? Really? Okay, Clone Ranger. Yes. Here's what you do with your retro stuff. Give us new characters. And I'm not talking about the Mandalorian. I'm talking about like Tarkin. Like Moff Tarkin Cabe. Like the Biff band members. Give us old figures that we wanted back then on those card backs in that crummy articulation and crummy style. Give us those things. Give us Slave Leia. I like the Angry Birds Star Wars games and the CGI shorts as well.
How are we doing here, Tom? You holding down the
My
fort?
anger holds no bounds.
Clone Ranger says Boshak.
Oh yeah, we're talking about retro collection stuff rather than the crummy. All right, so a little birdie just told me that you bought a dozen of those retro collection multicolored Vaders.
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, someone. Are
the
you
Vader? The
yeah.
Vader?
Yeah.
I have
someone here.
Who said that?
Someone said this.
That I bought a dozen.
Greg Stone said you bought a bunch of them. Are you calling Greg Stone a liar?
And how are you extrapolating a dozen from what he is saying?
Okay, I just meant a few.
Okay, so I think I have one hanging on the wall. I have one loose. That's all I have.
All right.
At one point I had one other one, and I returned.
Had 3. You bought 3. Okay.
No. I think actually I bought 4. I sold one.
4.
Okay, I sold one at MSRP $9.99 to a collector that could not find it or could not get it online. And the other one, I think the same thing. I returned it to the store because I felt like I didn't need it. I should have kept it, but I returned it to the store.
Did you think you might have a problem with buying badly colored Darth Vader retro figures? Do we need an intervention?
For buying 4 of them? I think if there's going to be an intervention with me, with Victoria's Cantina, then it better be about buying like 20 like vintage collection stormtroopers.
You can never have too many stormtroopers. No. Everyone will agree with that. Everyone will agree that you can never have too many stormtroopers.
Okay.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take the nearest trash can and take that retro Darth Vader with his terrible colors and the loose one, and I want you to put them in the trash can and set them on fire.
No.
I'm not as convincing as Victoria is to do stuff.
Burning plastic emits like toxic chemicals into the atmosphere, and I'm 100% not here for that.
Also, it's a terrible thing to do, but
I care about our environment, Mr. Tom.
Collection test shot Boba Fett is a piece of junk, and I hate it.
So So, I was hoping that back in when did this Vader come out? It was 2019, I think.
A couple of years ago, yeah.
I was hoping that was going to be like the first of like several. But 2 years later in 2021, I was hoping it wasn't. I was thinking it was just a one-off thing. And now that I see Boba Fett, it's like, okay, well, of course, Boba Fett is the one character that they would do because it's freaking Boba Fett and everybody loves Boba Fett, right? For better or for worse. And, yeah, I'm on board for it. I'm going to get it. I mean, I'm not going to dumpster fire it or anything. I'm going to buy it. I'm not going to throw it in the Pacific Ocean and let it sink to the abyss.
I'm going to feed it to dolphins.
No, don't do that.
What's endangered right now? Are dolphins still endangered? White tigers. I'm going to feed it to white tigers.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't feed it to white tigers. Don't feed it to sea turtles. Don't feed it to I don't know. There's a lot of endangered species that we don't want to. We want to make sure that those repopulate, right? We want to make sure that they expand and continue to do well. We don't want to harm them with plastic Boba Fetts. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. I don't understand this reference.
That's a Monty Python reference.
I haven't seen that.
Everyone in the chat chastised Victoria for having never seen Monty Python.
Dude, how old did you say you were?
Oh, I'm old. I'm old
too.
No, you're not. You're a youngin. Let me throw something out there. Pedro, imagine how epic could be a big electronic Black Series or Retro Series electronic Watto with voice. So I'm gonna go you one further, Pedro. I'm gonna say the next HasLab is a life-size Watto, right? It's articulate, it moves around, it tries to rip you off in like money schemes. Its wings flap about. It says weird stuff.
That's the thing for Hot Toys, Tom.
Does it move around though? I want it to talk to me. I want it to be like, I'm not gonna give you that bargain. I'm
50-50. Yeah.
50-50. Yeah.
A Star Wars collector. Hello. Let's see here. Give it back to Patrick.
Tell that to those people who made three Jar Jar and made videos burnt. Oh yeah, screw those people.
You have fans here, Tom. You have fans.
Anyway, yeah, I'm mean spirited and terrible, and they're being ironic. Now, people that burn action figures, just to be very clear with everyone, I don't condone. I think it's douchey, and it's a douchey thing to do. It's just like what. I'm making fun of a genre.
Just don't burn plastic. I mean,
give it to someone. Cool. Give it to a kid.
Don't burn any plastic, though. I don't care if it's a plastic jug or anything. Don't burn plastic.
Why? Why not? Well, is it bad for the atmosphere? The atmosphere isn't real. It's all fake news.
It's all fake news. So Greg says the only person life wants the vintage collection or Victoria's Cantina Gungan. Is it vintage collection or Victoria's Cantina? I don't even know anymore. Gungan sub, and I'm not backing down.
I want one. Absolutely. Because the one that they made wasn't like, it doesn't need to be scaled properly, but I want to be able to fit the 3 figures into it. No question. I absolutely want that.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Greg.
All right. Well, there's 2 people that want that. Go start a petition, guys. Let's see here. If Chronicle didn't go bankrupt, you might have had a shot. So Hot Toys is or Sideshow even are the one that do the 1-to-1 scale, full size like replicas. Mm-hmm. They did the Baby Yoda, and Hot Toys did one too. Chronicle never had the license for Star Wars. They had the license for Jurassic, Terminator, and a bunch of other stuff that nobody really watches. And then they went bankrupt. So they're like not a thing anymore. And it's too bad because I had a chance to interview them a couple times and, meet with them and at Comic-Con and stuff. And they seemed okay. So yeah, it's just too bad that happens, but bankruptcy happens, I guess.
Yeah. Ask our former president.
Yeah. Brittany says Victoria's Cantina can also have a Gungan set.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. DC edition. Yeah. I wonder what my packaging would look like. What would that look? It'd be blue and pink. I don't really understand all this hate on Jar Jar. I know he's not the best character, but sometimes he's funny. And we're not hating on Jar Jar, to make that clear, right, Tom? We're not. We like Jar Jar.
No, but I do want to come in as one of those guys. I was 20 when The Phantom Menace came out, and I hated Jar Jar. Jar Jar, I hated most everything about that movie. Jar Jar was such a jarring change from what the original Star Wars was like. He was in almost every scene doing goofy kind of slapstick humor, which didn't feel like it belonged in Star Wars. In the 25 years since then, with all the Clone Wars, it's like, yeah, I mean, that's Star Wars. It's kind of silly and goofy. But at the time, it felt so out of place that was the lightning rod that we rallied against. It was like Jar Jar Binks is the problem. Jar Jar Binks wasn't the problem with those movies. It was the fact that it was supposed to be a story about Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi developing a friendship and that falling apart, and you never seeing them developing a friendship together. Right? We glossed over that. They say hello to each other in the first movie, and in the second movie they have an elevator ride with like, remember all those adventures we had, and then they're split up again. That's where the problems were with that movie, not Jar Jar. I think Jar Jar should have been toned down a bit, and I think the ending sequence where he stumbles around and accidentally defeats the Trade Federation army is irritating, but it's not. That's not world breaking anymore. I think Jar Jar in the Clone Wars is really fantastic and really fun.
Right.
I really wish that George Lucas hadn't listened to us vocal screaming guys at the time, because what his idea was for Jar Jar, where he is this goofy cartoon character, and by the end of Revenge of the Sith, he was just a cog in a machine of politics that was entirely corrupted by that. I think that would have been a fascinating thing to watch if it hadn't been done properly. But instead, he listens to the fans' complaints about The Phantom Menace, and with that, we got Attack of the Clones.
And then Revenge of the Sith, because he's even like more toned down there.
Yeah.
Well, he has one line. He's got one line in that movie.
Oopsies. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. And is Jar Jar one of the best action figures of all time? Oh, no question. In the
Black Series.
The Black Series is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, people, I know they like to talk about like the Rise of Skywalker being like a reaction to The Last Jedi, and it was to some extent, but Lucas was doing the same thing. Like he was like looking at what people were saying about Jar Jar and The Phantom Menace, and he was like reacting accordingly with his films. So it's not like a new thing to, gauge what the audience's receptiveness is to these unique concepts and, act accordingly. I mean, he was doing the same thing.
Yeah. I would argue that I think the two worst films in the series are The Rise of Skywalker and Attack of the Clones, because they are ones that are specifically looking to address concerns about things that maybe we're not fully understanding at the time. And these days, if you show up at my house and say, you know what I really want to do? I want to watch Attack of the Clones. I've already got the disc in the drive before you finished saying the word clones. Let's watch it. Yeah. Now that Star Wars belongs to Disney, will we ever see the light of day? Jar Jar will make the Goofy laugh.
Yeah, that I don't know what that means. That I don't know.
I would love Jar Jar to show up in the Obi-Wan series.
Star Wars Collector says the Black Series Jar Jar is one of the best action figures of the year, in my humble opinion. Absolutely, no question. That's an awesome figure.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, no question. It's stunning. It's stunning.
Yeah. Much love for Jar Jar and Ahmed Best. Yeah, Ahmed Best is a fantastic human being. I've interacted with him a little bit before.
He was a pioneer.
He's amazing.
He was Gollum before there was Gollum.
But even just as a human being, he's awesome. I love Ahmed Best.
Yeah.
Cool Guy says the Rise of Skywalker is the biggest crime perpetrated.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh my God. So he's the guy that was like, he's J.J. Abrams's buddy, right? And he was in The Force Awakens.
Oh, that guy. Yeah,
that guy. You know, there's always that guy. That's the guy.
That was it. Snap Wexley is no Wedge. Sorry, he's J.J. Abrams' buddy. Just like The Hobbit, when The Hobbit showed up, and he's like, "Oh, I'm here now," because he won a bet. So he got a bunch of lines that could have been given to a more established, better developed character from the previous movie. Rose. Sorry, I'm going to run in and do a refill. That all right?
Yeah, do a refill. So yeah, while you do that, I'm going to talk about The Rise of Skywalker here, and say that I really enjoy it. You know, I enjoyed The Force Awakens. There are certain things about The Last Jedi that I do appreciate, certain things that I don't, but The Rise of Skywalker, I felt, for me personally, was like it felt the most like Star Wars to me out of any of the sequels. And you know, why was that? I don't really know. I mean, there's just some sort of something about it that for me just feels more like it's more integrated into the original trilogy. I mean, I know some people say it was a mess, or that you know, there were issues with it. And yeah, there are a lot of plot things with that. I mean, you can tell by watching it that, you know, there probably were a lot of things that were gone in at the last minute and rearranged and adjusted. But I still really enjoy it. I still really enjoy it. Dominic Monaghan, yeah. I mean, I think he random, right? Very random, but in a way welcome addition. And I don't think you can really argue with Ian McDiarmid as Palpatine, no matter how good or bad the movie is. Like, Ian McDiarmid, no matter what he's doing with Star Wars, is always on his A game. He's always solid. He's always a joy to watch. And I felt like that was completely the case as well with The Rise of Skywalker. Like, he was just all in it. And I loved seeing him back. I loved seeing, you know, no matter what you think of Palpatine, like, returning, like, was that necessary? Probably not. I mean, I think they could have come up ultimately, had they planned out the sequel trilogy with a better sort of a concept, more consistent ideas, I think it could have been a much better trilogy. But I just think having Ian McDiarmid back, like, period, is an awesome thing. And I just think he brought his A game, as he always does. And I think he was really good. He was really entertaining, and I really liked seeing him on screen. He was the best part of The Rise of Skywalker, I feel like. Just anytime Ian McDiarmid was on screen, Palpatine was on screen. So yeah. Yeah. So.
Oh, Brittany M.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Palpatine.
Go ahead. Palpatine.
No, Palpatine. Yeah.
I love most of Palpatine.
I love Palpatine. I don't care how much of it, you know, what. I love all of Palpatine. Like, really, like, he's the Emperor for me is always one of my favorite things, like, about Star Wars. Like, he's just he always brings his A game. He's always
he's so much fun. And the Black Series version of him that they came out with the throne room with the 3 heads was such perfection that I had the original Palpatine. Did I have to buy another Palpatine so I could do a head swap? Yes, I did. I am absolutely. Wait, I've shown you my custom Darth Sidious, right?
Yeah, you have.
Yeah. Yeah. I love him. I love him. He's so much fun.
Give it time. The sequel trilogy will have a fan base that will hold it up in 20 years, same as the prequels. I agree with this.
No!
I agree with this.
No,
I agree with this because, you know, go back to 1999. I mean, I was a kid, and I kind of a kid still in 1999. And I remember, you know, I was still going online to theforce.net, to the Jedi Council forums back then. And people were saying this sort of thing, you know, like, oh, you know, the Phantom Menace is terrible. It wasn't Star Wars. It's not my Star Wars. And now the same people are saying that, you know, because it was George Lucas, that it was excellent, that it was, you know, that it counts. And I agree. I think Jason's right. I think give it 20 years, I think you're going to hear the same exact thing from, you know, people that are kids now, people that are teenagers now, that, you know, this is the Star Wars that they're seeing in the theater for the first time. These are the toys that they're finding on the shelves for the first time. I think they're going to say the same things.
I think there's absolutely a level of truth to that, because I remember when I was a kid, generally other kids thought Return of the Jedi was the best one. Slightly older people didn't like it because of the Ewoks, and there's this evil wizard that just comes out of nowhere and he's suddenly the bad guy.
Yeah.
They didn't like that. The thing I will give the prequels credit for, because I will say, you know, I don't think the prequels are particularly well-made movies, but they are at least an interesting vision of an artist. And the thing with the sequel trilogy movies, I absolutely concur that 20 years from now, people growing up with these are going to love them, and they're going to love the entire thing. But these were I'm going to trash on JJ just for a second. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
I don't believe that J.J. Abrams is capable of creating anything ever that's very new and not just a repackaged idea. His entire career has been based basically off of repackaging things that we have already seen and putting them in different orders. Often when you look at the order of those things, it doesn't make a lot of sense and gets problematic. But generally, people will forgive it early on because they'll think it's going to go somewhere later, and then it doesn't. I very much appreciate the artistic decisions that George Lucas made with his prequel trilogy, despite the fact that I think they're generally failures as stories, as emotionally engaging stories rather than interesting pieces of art. Whereas the sequels, I think, are a product. They're a thing that was Bob Iger came up with a mandate that said, I want a new movie every year. And they had to shovel stuff out as fast as possible to meet that mandate so that when he retired, he could do so and say, look at all the money I made. And that's legitimately what happened. But it doesn't change the fact that, yeah, as Jason says, his nephews will hopefully grow up and love the entire thing and be like, well, it's all fine. What are you crazy old people talking about? And you know what? Awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing with that is, you know, I was in middle school, high school when the prequels are coming out, and I mean, my first experience with Star Wars was the original trilogy. It was like, you know, all the old stuff, special edition. That was the first time I saw those movies in the theater. So, you know, that's what I had to compare them to.
Yeah.
And you know, I saw that, you know, I felt a certain way about them as, you know, at that age, like watching them in the theater, I was like, okay, you know, they're not necessarily perfect. Particularly, I refer to the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones when I say this. Revenge of the Sith I loved, like, from the beginning, and I still love it just as much as I ever did.
Yeah. Most of my issues with Revenge of the Sith come from, I think, the failings of the other two movies, really.
I think that's what it is. And I think when we look at the sequels, like, the thing about the very first film in any trilogy, whether it's a sequel trilogy or whatever, like, it kind of opens the door for all these possibilities, you know? When you get to the second film, when you get to the third film, those possibilities change. You know, those, depending on what you decide.
You gotta narrow them down.
Exactly. Depending on what happens with those stories, you know, you feel that, you know, they're going down a path that you agree with or you don't agree with. And it's not really something that's good or bad. It's just like, you know, we build up particularly with Star Wars, we build up all these ideas in our head with what these movies are going to turn into, what the story is going to progress into. And when we don't see that, we become very disappointed. We become very disjointed from what's going on. And I feel like that happened for a lot of people with both trilogies. And again, I don't think it's good or bad. I just think it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I don't think that it's good for anybody to take away the enjoyment that anybody else gets from any of these films.
No, that's a
I
terrible
think that's the absolute worst thing. If somebody enjoys something, it is not fair for you to take away their enjoyment. It is not right for you to take away what they appreciate or like about a certain film or
Except
about.
you're not a real Star Wars fan if you like the movies that I don't like.
Exactly. That is totally not okay.
That's dumb.
You can like and appreciate what you do about Star Wars, but it is not okay to take anybody else's enjoyment away about what they like.
Mm-hmm.
And I see this a lot on social media. I see it on YouTube. There's so many channels
true
on
fans.
YouTube.
True fans.
There are so many channels on YouTube that have, made their reputations based on what they don't like about Star Wars. And I just think it's so sad that we don't hold to a higher regard, the things that we do like about Star Wars and focus on those things than we do, on those things that we don't like, because there's always going to be things we don't like. Star Wars has gotten so big.
Yeah, it's really big. When I was a kid, there was 3 movies.
Yeah, and now now it's 11 movies. It's animated series. There's like 3 or 4 of them. There's the live action series. We have one with bunches of more coming, and there's a bit of Star Wars for everybody. And I don't, it doesn't matter to me like who you are or what you think. I mean, there's a little bit of Star Wars for everybody. And I think at the end of the day, that's the important thing to focus on, is that if you don't like this bit of Star Wars, there's always this other aspect of Star Wars that you can focus on and appreciate. But I don't think it's ever cool to take away anybody else's enjoyment about what they appreciate within Star Wars.
This little cat agrees. She's also trying to climb all over my keyboard. And she's like,
"Thank you, Kalinda.
I'm going to be bad kittens now.
Thank you, Kalinda. We appreciate that." Yeah, Drastic Dave says, if you don't have anything nice to say, yeah. I mean, completely. If you don't have anything nice to say, I mean,
couch your criticisms as criticisms, though, and not Godspell. And don't go around telling people that there's a war in Disney with Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni, because that's such silly.
Every other day I see a video pop up saying that Kathleen Kennedy's going to get fired.
Well, because they keep doing it. Eventually, she's like 75. She's going to retire, guys. Like, I'm surprised she started this in 2012, right? I think is when they bought Star Wars.
Not only that, but people like to harp on how awful, the certain films are. But when it comes to The Mandalorian, when it comes to certain things that they do like, Clone Wars Season 7, they forget that she was also, the executive producer of a lot of those things. So
she's a money person that like hires people and then tries to make certain they have the assets that they need to get the thing done. That's the level of her involvement.
Right.
It's like, it's there's a cottage industry based on hating Catholic. Yes, there absolutely is. And there's producers actually out there that make bad content consistently, and you don't see anything about that. But I wonder why.
No, that's. I wonder why. I mean, one of the just to kind of put a cap on this, one of the pet peeves that I personally have is seeing things. I mean, I'm not saying that Kathleen Kennedy's perfect or that I agree with a lot of the things that she's done, but I will say that I see a lot of things online that say or indicate that she did certain things to get to the top, or that, there were only, she did certain things. But I mean, she started here locally, here where I live in San Diego, as a television news producer.
That was my cat. Sorry.
That's okay. Kathleen Kennedy started by being a local television news producer here in San Diego, Tom. So, I mean, everybody starts somewhere. I mean, they're successful, they're not successful.
Well, you go on to become Kathleen Kennedy, or you become a popular YouTuber that yells about Kathleen Kennedy.
Exactly. Okay. So Brittany says there's some misogyny going on at work here. I mean, that's true. That's everywhere. That's in filmmaking. That's on YouTube. Right here, that's everywhere. We see that everywhere, unfortunately, and I think it'll be a bit of time still until we see that change. But you know, I guess that what I'm getting down to is that, you know, like I said earlier, you know, if you don't like certain aspect of Star Wars, that's okay. I mean, there's plenty of Star Wars to go around. If you know, and you can focus on the things that you do like, but let other people have the things that they enjoy. I mean, don't take that away from them. It's cool that they enjoy it. I mean, what does it harm us if other people enjoy things that we don't? It doesn't at all.
Yeah.
It makes them better. It makes the world better if you think about it, right? Because they're able to focus on the things that they enjoy, and you know, we can focus on what we enjoy, and everybody's happy.
Fine with me.
Fine with me.
Jason Garcia, the biggest criticism of the sequel trilogy is we never got to see the original cast together for a scene. That's correct. J.J. Abrams, because he had no idea what to do with Luke Skywalker. Because when J.J. Abrams was growing up, Han Solo was his favorite character.
You know, Tom, you told me before that you could completely change the story of the sequel trilogy if you do away with that one line in the opening crawl of The Force Awakens where Luke Skywalker is missing.
I think that is the biggest divide starts with what happened with Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, and I'm in the camp that liked that. But again, that's a follow-up to Luke Skywalker bailed on everyone in the galaxy, right?
Yeah.
Which was not so much a well thought out thing, so much as JJ's being like, well, we have Obi-Wan or Yoda. And
Yeah.
I don't know how to deal with Luke Skywalker, right? So we're going to put him into the next movie.
Yeah.
There's no, for those of us that like The Last Jedi, there is no other satisfactory answer to that than what we got, because the other answers for us become we don't like those answers, right? Like, oh, he's waiting for an opportune time, or he's searching for a thing, or like, well, that also means he just left his nephew to go and wreak havoc on the galaxy and watch his family get just murdered around, and watch the entire galaxy get, like, the Republic get blown up by another Death Star, and he just allowed all that to happen because he's looking for a thing. Like, whereas I'm in the camp that's like, oh, he felt horrible shame about something. Okay, I can buy that. But that's coming off of having to buy that Luke Skywalker bailed on the whole galaxy. And that's the first line from The Force Awakens. And that's why when I saw The Force Awakens, I did not like it. I don't like it now. I grew to like it for a little while. When I watched The Last Jedi, I was like, these things work together, I feel, in like a 1-2 punch. You're setting this up to be this repetitive exact same thing, and it's like, oh, we do something different. Oh, this might be interesting for me. And then for the final act, it just went back to basically how I predicted the trilogy would end if JJ was running it after The Force Awakens. So I didn't like The Force Awakens. I liked the characters. I thought Rey was really neat and fun and new. I thought Finn was hilarious comic relief. He was great. Kylo Ren was a really neat. Yeah, he's hilarious. Kylo Ren was a neat temper tantrumy sort of guy. Like, this is a neat new set of guys. But yeah, do I wish that if you're going to make Star Wars 7, do I want to see the original characters together again? Yeah. It blows my mind that they didn't do that.
Sequel trilogy was poorly conceived and executed, but Solo, Rogue One, The Mandalorian, great from each their own. So I think part of the thing, Tom, is that when you're kind of expanding things into territory that is unknown, like The Mandalorian or Solo or Rogue One, you know, it's easier to satisfy expectations because you're kind of going into places that people don't really have any preconceived notions of where the story should go. But when you're dealing directly with the Skywalker saga, you know, you have all these ideas of where these characters went or where they should be going. And I think you're right. I mean,
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree with what you said. Like, Abrams didn't really know, like, I think the biggest sin of the original trilogy, I guess, would be, or the sequel trilogy, sorry, would be that they didn't have a planned out, like, path of where they would take the story. Like, they may have had some ideas, but, you know, we've learned over the last year or two that, you know, from the cast, that they didn't really know where exactly they were going. Like,
real quick, Darth Binks, General Kenobi, Sorry.
Yeah.
You have to do it.
Yeah, totally. I like the sequels for what they are. I kind of loathe them for what they aren't. And
Right.
when I say that, I don't mean that to diss, Ryan Johnson or J.J. Abrams or, I mean, they're filmmakers, right? They're going to do what they feel, what they're educated to do, what they feel is right for the story, but you're completely right too in saying when J.J. Abrams said, Luke Skywalker has vanished, like
You've
that
got to
kind
do
of
something with that. You're
you've got to
boxed
do
in.
something with that. You're very boxed in. Had he been there from the very first film saying that, as kind of like the protagonist / like assistant to Rey or whatever, that, this is gonna, you need to do this. This is gonna happen. This is where the story's gonna go. We would have seen a very different trilogy. Had we had the big three together, we would have seen a very different trilogy. We didn't get
Big
that.
Four. Give me Lando in that too. I wanted Lando back in that.
Lando is freaking awesome. I mean, he's still one of my top 5. Like he's Billy D. Williams. Lando is.
I was stunned that he was in neither episode 7 nor 8. And then his arrival in 9 was anyway.
But when we got him in 9, he was Lando. I mean, 3 years had passed, whatever. He was Lando to the T. He was amazing. But yeah, no, I've been on a rewatch lately of the sequels because there's been this time like after the Mandalorian season 2 where we kind of have this lull like between that and the next Star Wars series or whatnot, Cassian or Kenobi or whatever it is, and I've kind of been rewatching them and kind of in my head I have these things that I've seen on YouTube where people either love or don't love the sequels or whatever, but there's a lot in there that's solid. That's pretty solid. Like, and I think for me personally, the thing that I take away from the most from seeing these is Kylo Ren. Like,
he's so good. He and Rey are so good.
He and Rey are the definitive aspect of this story. And even if I don't personally feel like we needed a repeat of like a Skywalker falling to the dark side and all that, I still appreciate how Kylo is different in the sense that he's torn between the light and the dark. He's not exactly like Anakin. He's not like, he fell to the dark, he became Vader, and he's still this whole time something different. He's still this whole time somebody that's torn between the light and the dark. Yeah. And Adam Driver just brought his A game to this series and this trilogy, and he was fantastic. And I just love like picking up on these little nuances in his performance, like him being like, it's not a repeat of Vader, and I think that's that could be the one thing that I appreciate most about the sequels is that Adam Driver as Kylo Ren he's not trying to be Vader. He's trying to be something different. He's trying to be, we see him as this big bad at the beginning of The Force Awakens, and then he takes off his helmet before Rey, and he shows us that he's not like this like beat down, battered, like dark sider that has had all these experiences. He's Kylo Ren. He's an entitled white boy.
He's an entitled white boy. He's an entitled white boy that has all the heritage that believes he gets to be the next thing. Then some girl comes along.
He's a good-looking, like guy, and he's not scarred up like Vader was. He's not missing his hair like Vader was. He's something different, and although like it breaks my heart to see him kill Han Solo. Like it really, even now, like I watch The Force Awakens, and every time that happens, I cry. Like totally, like just seeing one of your childhood heroes like being stabbed in the gut.
Really,
it kills me a little bit.
It always, as soon as I saw that they cast Harrison Ford, I was like, Harrison Ford, he finally gets to die on screen. He's so excited. So I was like, I know he's dead. So I was just waiting for it. I was like, oh, there we go. He's shuffle on that mortal coil. I mean, it was the best Harrison Ford performance I've seen in a number of times. Certainly
he was good. I didn't love Harrison Ford in Return of the Jedi. I just feel like he's there for comic relief, and there's not really anything attached to his arc or his story.
No, His arc's done. His arc finished in the first movie. His arc didn't continue after the first movie.
That right there is what it is. Once your arc is complete, it's really hard, if not impossible, to put you on a new, put you into a new story, into a new arc.
Yeah.
Luke's arc was completely done by Return of the Jedi. We didn't need to see anything else. But if you're going to bring back these characters, there's no way in hell you're going to be able to satisfy everybody.
Yep.
You know, you're going to make some people happy. You're going to make some people really upset. I mean, once a character's arc is done, you really need to think about how you're going to bring them forward. And for me personally, I think the thing with Luke was that, and I would say this about anybody, like, I think, like, we need heroes, right? We need people to look up to, idealized versions of characters or people to look up to emulate, to, you know, as we go into our everyday lives, like, to think about. And when you take that, when you bring that person down a notch for whatever reason, filmmaking purposes, things that happen in real life, whatever, when you give us a less than idealized version of those characters, you're making it hard for us to, I just think life is better when we have heroes to look up to, I guess is what I mean. And when we don't see that, when we see things taken in a different direction, realistic or not, I mean, this is a story, this is a fantasy series. I don't think we need to see a realistic version of what a character could or can't be. I think that's where a lot of people kind of lose track with this particular depiction of Luke Skywalker.
And I completely disagree with that. But I respect the viewpoint. I think that watching that character, which I'd had such high regard for, go to such a new low point and pull himself out of that and go forth and confront that, like his low point wasn't, it was no longer the moment he was deciding he was going to murder Darth Vader, right? You remember in Return of the Jedi, he's like, I'm going to save my father. And then his father's like, I'll take your sister. He's like, you're dead now. I'll kill you. Like, he just goes nuts. He just goes completely nuts, loses his cool. And he's able to pull himself back from that. And watching a movie where he's had, you know, we're given the fact that he's gone into exile due to something that's happened.
Yeah.
Watching someone come in and be like, you might be a person, right? You might be a person that has these failings. You might have these problems. But what we really need right now is the legend. What we need is the person that we all believe in.
Yeah.
You've got to do that for us. And at the end of the day, he decides, all right, I'm going to go do that.
Right. Like I said, there's a lot of things about that film that I really enjoy. I love that Yoda thing. I mean, you know, failure is the biggest, is the best teacher. I mean, that's true. I mean, I don't see how you can disagree with that.
No.
But, and there's things like, you know, the Rey and Kylo team up. Let's make something new. Let's forget about the Jedi, the Sith, Luke and Snoke, and let's do something new. I kind of wish he would have taken his hand and we would have seen things go in a different direction.
I want to come back to that.
But yeah, I mean, if people are frustrated with, you know, the way their childhood hero was taken into a different direction, I mean, I can sympathize with that. Is what I'm saying is, you know, I agree with that. And you know, you're saying that people could take that to see, you know, he's come back after all this time, he's going in a different direction. That's fine. I feel like in a different series that could have been okay, but I don't know, like, and you know, obviously we have different viewpoints, so we're gonna have different opinions on them. That's fine. That's totally okay. Like I was saying earlier, it's not okay to take at somebody else's enjoyment and try and like crap on that. I mean, people feel what they want to feel, and that's fine. I mean, it does us no harm to appreciate things that other people don't like or to not appreciate things that other people like. I love a lot of the decisions that were made with that film, but there are certain things that, for me personally, I feel like just weren't what I think worked, you know, should have worked or could have worked in a different way. And but when you look at it on the merits of what you're describing, of how somebody can come back from being at their lowest point and, you know, turn a situation around, or at least try to turn a situation around and make it, you know, different. There's merit, and there's a lot of things to like in that as well. It's just, I guess it just depends on what side of the fence you're standing on.
And again, the only thing I'll come in at the end of this is that the best solution is don't have them have run away from these whole problems in the first place. And your problem is The Force Awakens. And that's not even my only problem with The Force Awakens. But here's the real quick fun thing about Kylo Ren and Rey's big fight. It's a wonderfully tense moment. It's fascinating. At the end of the fight, I'm sitting there wondering, what's going to happen? Is he going to join her? Is she going to join him? And I'm okay with them going separate ways because it tracks with their characters. There's actually no real reason why she's like, yeah, I'll join you and screw these people. Let's blow them all up. The interesting thing is when Luke Skywalker saved Darth Vader, or no, Darth Vader saved Luke from the Emperor. What if Darth Vader hadn't, wasn't dying then? What if he was still alive? Is he suddenly like, I work for the rebellion now? Or he's like, I'm sorry, son, the Emperor is bad. Now, let's do it, guy. It's an interesting thought.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is. I mean, there's definitely different directions they're going to take in any of this story. Prequels, original trilogy, sequels, and it's not for me to say what people should or shouldn't take away from these films. I mean, these films exist because Lucas had this idea of representing the hero's journey as described by Joseph Campbell as how
Filtered
somebody
the Vietnam War.
Exactly, the Vietnam War.
And Nixonian politics.
Yeah. How you can start from the bottom and reach the top. How you could start from being this nobody who lives on a desert planet and make your way to the pinnacle of what your idealized version of your own story should be. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. I think a lot of people can relate to coming from nowhere. I mean, I came from a small town in Texas in the middle of nowhere that was absolutely nothing. If I told you the name of the town I grew up on, you never would have heard of it. It was nowhere. It was nowhere. It's like Luke says in Last Jedi, like, yeah, that pretty much is nowhere. That's exactly where I grew up.
Okay, that's the other thing about, here's what I wanted from the sequel trilogy with Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill. I wanted them to be funny because they are funny or were funny people. I was like, I want to see that humor. And with The Last Jedi, at least got a little bit of that with Carrie Fisher and a good amount of that with Mark Hamill. So every time something that would...
I will give you that. Like Carrie's performance in The Last Jedi was the best out of any of the sequels. I mean...
Oh, yeah. Force Awakens was crushing.
I may not necessarily think that Rian Johnson is the best director for a Star Wars film, but I think he's a fantastic director. Mm-hmm. And I think that he was able to bring out Carrie's best performance in all of these films. And, she's certainly...
Since Empire Strikes Back, yeah.
Exactly. And she's certainly a step up from the Force Awakens. I mean, you see more of her. She has more dialogue and she's more Carrie Fisher. And I know I've told you this, Tom, but I had a run-in with Carrie Fisher at Star Wars Celebration 4 in Los Angeles in 2007. And I was standing there ordering hot dogs right next to Carrie Fisher.
Oh, yeah. If these people haven't heard this story, you got to share this one. This is good.
All right. I was standing right next to Carrie Fisher in one of the cafeterias at the Los Angeles Convention Center at Star Wars Celebration 4. And I was going through the line like, I'd like to have a hot dog, please. And the lady next to me, I'd like to have a hot dog too. I didn't realize it was Carrie Fisher until I got to the area where you start dressing your hot dog, right? With the ketchup, the mayonnaise, the whatever you put on your hot dog. Mm-hmm. And then I started seeing these people come around and start taking pictures and start like what's going on? They're not taking pictures of me. And I'm not Victoria's Cantina yet. That's not going to happen for another 6 or 7 years. But I'm standing next to this lady. And I look at her and I'm like, God damn, that's Carrie Fisher. And she's standing right next to me in this line ordering hot dogs and dressing her hot dog and everything. And it was man, it's unreal. It's hard for me to she was awesome.
Yeah. That was, she got taken too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this experience is really cool. Like, I mean, I don't think that many people can say, you know, I ordered hot dogs, you know, with Carrie Fisher, and like that was just like its own crazy thing. And
Oh yeah.
it happened, and it's awesome, and I'm really grateful for that. Even if I didn't get to really talk to her, even if I got a photo of her.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't shared it. I don't think I ever will, but
That can be your private thing.
that's my private thing. But the fact that it happened, the fact that I can tell you that I ordered hot dogs at Carrie Fisher is something freaking special, and something that I'll take to the grave, and something that will always be like right here for me. And
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. And you know, she was amazing, and I wish she was still here. And yeah,
Yeah.
that freaking happened. So
Yeah. Episode 9 would have been a very different movie had she been around to do stuff. We all know that.
yeah.
Like at the point in time that the decision to only focus one movie per original trilogy character, Han, then Luke, then Leia, was a bad idea.
Yeah. But anyhow, Tom, I think this has been solid. I think this has been fun.
It's
You
been
know, we've
almost
been
2
going at
hours.
it. It's been almost 2 hours, and you know, I think we should do more live streams on YouTube, because we you know, we do them a lot on Instagram, but we don't really do them enough on YouTube. And of course, most of the VC audience is here on YouTube. So I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in. Thank all of you guys for watching us and listening to our shenanigans here. You know, a lot of our personal feelings about things. A lot of,
I'm so grumpy.
you know, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you know, you're passionate, right? I mean, I think grumpy could be interpreted as being passionate about things. And you know, we've had a lot to share, and we've talked to other folks, and you know, comments here. So I want to thank everybody who's tuned in. You know, we'll do this again soon. I kind of want to make live streams here on YouTube specifically, kind of more of a regular thing.
Yeah,
Maybe
do it. I'll
we'll
tune
do
in.
it. Yeah, yeah, or
one way or the
yeah.
other, dude.
Yeah, I want to make it more of a regular thing. So let's do it more often. Thanks everybody who's still here after all this time. We appreciate you. You know, it's May the 4th. So, you know, whatever aspect of Star Wars that you love, whether it's the films, whether it's certain trilogies, the animation, the toys, whatever, it's all Star Wars. And the way that I feel personally, Tom, is that there's no such thing as bad Star Wars. You might like some Star Wars more than others, but it's all Star Wars. And at the end of the day, I think that's a good thing.
It's better than most of the other stuff out there, even a bad version of it. So
Yes.
it's better than like most of the other stuff. I just want to say something to everyone though. Today is May the 4th, so we can do May the 4th be with you. But tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo. It's already a holiday. It's a holiday. Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear any of this Revenge of the Fifth stuff. Cinco de Mayo. We get this day.
Yeah.
This is our day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be popular for that thought, but.
And that's okay. It's not about being popular for what you feel or don't feel. It's about being true to yourself, right? It's about being passionate about the things that you're passionate about. So
just like a true Sith Lord would say, I'm Jedi.
Right, exactly. So yeah, thanks you guys, especially those of you who have been here the whole time. Brittany, Jurassic Dave, Greg,
cool guy.
Yeah,
Jason.
all you folks, Jason. Yeah, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. We'll do, you know, more videos. And time for Tonica. Please sign that petition. We're at 900 signatures so far, and that's like unprecedented. I really, from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of Angela's heart, I can speak on her behalf. We really appreciate.
If we don't get the action figure, Kalinda's not going to get a cuddle.
We appreciate.
I'm not going to cuddle this cat if we don't get it.
We appreciate the outpouring of love that we've seen for the Time for Tonica Sisters campaign. It's certainly time. Listen to the latest episode of the Vintage Collection podcast, where Angela herself will tell you exactly why it's time for Tonica and why time is of the essence.
Yep.
It's absolutely time. It's absolutely time. This needs to happen. It's not Hasbro, it's Lucasfilm. The powers that be need to find a way to make this happen. Thank you, Nostalgic Adam, for the hair compliment. I really appreciate that. And yeah, sign the petition. Once this video ends, I will go back and edit the comments or the description and stuff, and I'll put a link to the description. If not, if you're following me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, then you have a link to that petition. Go ahead and please sign it. We want to get to 1,000 signatures. We want to get beyond that, and we want to make the Tonica Sisters happen, because on behalf of Angela Staines, it is actually, it is the perfect time for this to become a reality. I mean, none of us are getting any younger, and we need to make the Tonica Sisters happen. It is absolutely time. Lucasfilm, please make it happen. Please sign that petition.
Come on, Lucasfilm. Let's do it. Otherwise, Kalinda gets no cuddles. Come on. You saw that cat.
Exactly. Let's do it. Let's make that happen. Tom, I want to thank you so much for coming on here as always and chatting with us. Where can our listeners and viewers go to find you online? I
used to be at Twitter at Real Donald Trump, but that I no longer have access to. So you can still find me at Woozlin Demon on Twitter. On Instagram, you're welcome to follow me at the same hashtag at Woozlin Demon. But I don't. I posted something in December, so you know. Sometimes on Twitter, at least, I'll complain about something that I'm grouchy about.
You're out of control, Tom. And so once again, go get the Bad Batch figures, because they're selling out everywhere. And I'm not just saying that like I don't get paid by Hasbro or anything. I'm telling you, they are being sold out everywhere. So if you like the Bad Batch, go, and GameStop Online had them as of this last night. So I don't know if they still do, but they're solid figures. And I wouldn't tell you that just to tell you that. There are solid figures.
And if you haven't seen the Bad Batch, watch the Bad Batch, because at the end of that, you're going to be like me and be like, I should probably pre-order those figures.
Yes.
Unless you're not into the figures, then that's fine. But I legit did it. I was like,
yeah, absolutely. Jason says every day is Star Wars Day. That's absolutely true. Appreciate what you love about Star Wars. And that's again, what this is all about. I mean, Star Wars is for everybody, whether you like certain aspects of it or not. I mean, it's universal, and Star Wars has transcended all global boundaries, and that's awesome. That's awesome. And if you don't like any of Star Wars, then go ahead and go create your own fantasy sci-fi saga, and good luck with that. But
yeah, check out Jupiter Ascending, which I liked, by the way.
Right on. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, everybody who's tuned in. We appreciate you being here. May the 4th be with you. And please tune in next time for the next episode of Victoria's Cantina Live here on YouTube. And if not, I'm sure we'll see you on Instagram or wherever else we go live. Right, Tom?
I love it.
Too long.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, everybody. Thank you.